सरस्वती नमस्तेस्तु वीणा पुस्तकधारिणी हंसवाहनम् आरूढे विद्यादानं कुरुष्व मे येनाक्षर समाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. We have to start with समानाधिकरण तत्पुरुषः. समानाधिकरणः तत्पुरुषः एव कर्मधारयः द्विगुः इति द्विधा विभज्यते. So तत्पुरुष is both vyadhikarana and samanadhikarana. There are two types of tatpurusha. We saw the vyadhikarana tatpurusha. Vyadhikarana tatpurusha is where one is in a different substratum than the other. So our vibhaktikaha, kriya, all of these we found 5 types of vyadhikarana tatpurusha. Now we move on to samanadhikarana tatpurusha. If the two padams involved, the two words that are involved are present in the same support or same object, then it is called samanadhikarana. Yatra adhikaranam tu samanam vidyate, tatra samanadhikaranah. So where both objects, we are indicating two padams which are joining in a samasta padam. Once we see the example, we will understand. So karmadharaya and dvigu form this, are part of this kind of a tatpurusha samasa. So karmadharayaha, ayam navavidhaha. I think this is more than the vichakshanala namba paarthada vida. I think vichakshana had only 7 or something. 7, 8, maybe it also had 9. I'm not sure. So there are
yes, it had the 9 also.
9. Okay, 9 varieties. Then it's very similar to that. Here it's the same thing. It is a repeat performance of what happened there. So Amala, we will just go over quickly the different categories of this. Visheshana Purvapadaha, Visheshya Purvapadaha, Visheshana Ubhayapadaha, Upamana Purvapadaha, Upamana Uttarapadaha, Sambhavana Purvapadaha, Avadharana Purvapadaha, Bhinna Purvapadaha, or Vyadhikarana, Lupta Madhyama Padaha. So these are the 9 varieties of Karmadharaya. The first one is Visheshana Purvapada Karmadharaya. Ghataha, Neelaha cha, Asau Ghataha cha, Neela Ghataha, the blue pot. So Ghataha iti ekam padam, Tattu padam Visheshyam vartate, that which we want to describe. When we want to describe a pot, we are giving it a color here, and that Neelatvam also exists in the same place where we are having Ghatatvam also. That is why it is called a Samanadhikarana Tatpurusha. Neelaha cha, Asau Ghataha cha. Both these words are in the same vibhakti, lingam, vachanam. And they exist, the essential quality exists in the same padam, same object, padartha. So, Neelatvam yatra vidyate, tatraiva ghatatvam api vidyate, atra Neelatvam iti visheshanam. And visheshanam tu purvapadam, asmin samastapade. So, when you analyze the samastapada, Neela Ghataha, Neelatvam is your visheshana, and that visheshanam is the first padam here, purvapadam. So, visheshana purvapada karmadharayaha. Solrache Neelahacha Asau Ghatahacha. We look at either this object is blue and it is a pot. So both seem to refer to the same object. Taking Napunsakalinga example, Neelani Chatani Utpalani. Again, this in the middle in the Sarvanama Padam can be any padam. You can say Neelani cha etani utpalani, Neelani cha amuni utpalani, asau, or anything can, you can use any sarvanama shabda there to indicate the objects. So Neelani chatani utpalani, since we want to indicate many lilies that are there, which are blue lilies, and it is in Bahuvachanam, the Visheshanam also should be in Bahuvachanam. Samastapadam offers an easier way of expression because we make less mistakes in a Samastapadam. We know Utpalani. Neelam Utpalani, when you are trying to make separate words, let's say you want it in Chaturthi. Utpalebhyaha jalam dadami. यदि वक्तुं शक्यते तत्र कथं वक्तुं शक्यते नीलेभ्यः उत्पलेभ्यः जलं ददामि you have to convert the visheshana padam also to the appropriate number and vibhakti and everything there. So to avoid such mistakes you can actually put it in one samastha padam and it will be easier to express. Nilotpalebhyah, I don't need to do that separately here. Right? So it's just Samastha Padam offers an easier way of expression. Next one is Visheshya Purvapada Karmadharaya. We've been reading about Visheshanam Visheshyam in from the first exam, right? First Parichaya book, we have been reading this. So we don't need to go too much into that. So Visheshya is the object that we want to describe. But the Visheshanam here becomes the Uttara Padam, whereas the Visheshya is the Purva Padam. This is generally used in the sense of Nindarthakam upayujyate in general. Otherwise, the Visheshya will never be the Purva Padam. So, sannyasi cha, yeah. Vyakaranaha cha asau khasuchihi. Vyakarana is a grammarian, and a grammarian is a person who always keeps pointing out to the akasha. When you ask him, what is this padam? Neelaha iti kidrisham padam iti chet, he will immediately look at the akasha and try to think of the sutras that involve, and before he can even give an answer, that is how he will be thinking about things. Okay, so that's why he is called a khasuchi. Kham suchayati iti. Kha is akasha, suchi is a person who points out. So Vyakarana, a Vyakarana expert, is someone who indicates the akasha constantly. So Vyakaranaha cha asau khasuchihi. Vyakarana, a grammarian, and he is the person who also indicates the akasha. So khasuchihi. Mimamsakascha asau durdurutaha. Mimamsakaha is a person who follows the tradition of Mimamsa. And he is also a Vedic follower, right? So one who does yagas, yajnas, etc. Durdurutaha is a person who is a Nastika, one who does not believe in gods. So Mimamsaka Durdurutaha is a person who is a Mimamsaka, but then he is a Nastika also. So it again indicates the same person who is a Mimamsaka and who is a Nastika. But the Visheshya is Mimamsakaha asau. Kidrishaha Mimamsakaha, that becomes the qualifying thing for him, right? So that qualifying thing is the Visheshanam, adjective. But the adjective here is the second pada. So Visheshya Purva Pada Karmadharaya. Panditaha cha asau Sahridayascha. Pandita Sahridayaha, one who is a scholar and one who is a connoisseur. Connoisseur is a rasika. Yaha rasikaha sahatu panditaha bhavitum prayaha na bhavati ityeva. No, not all rasikas, not all sahridaya, connoisseurs can be people who can appreciate us, appreciators of poetry. Those who appreciate poetry need not be pandita. Those who are panditas may not be, sahridaya. I've met both type of people. I've met people who passionately understand poetry, who love poetry, but they're not scholars of Sanskritam. I've met extreme scholars of Sanskritam, some Nayayikas and some Vyakaranas, who cannot appreciate poetry at all. Actually, Vyakaranas are a little better than Nayayikas. Nayayikas can be very dry logicians, and it's very tough to describe poetry to them and make them feel passionate about poetry. So, Panditascha asau Sahridayascha. Vidyarthicha asau Sodaraha. This is not a Nindarthakam Nasti. This is just a statement, that's all. So, this in the Visheshya Visheshana Purvapada Visheshana Uttarapadangrar. So these actually do not come under the Visheshya Uttarapadam. So I'm going to mark it in red. Prashamsa vachanaihi ngarthala dhaan varum. This is in a sense of kutsitartham. But this doesn't seem to be in the sense of kutsitartham. Because vidyarthi sodaraha, a person who is a student, at the same time he is also a sibling. This is not, you can't consider this as a kutsitartha. So these two are kutsitartha. That is nindarthakam. When you're saying a vyakarana is a kasuchi, you're saying you're actually trying to point out a fault in him. You're saying a mimamsaka is an astika, then it is a kutsitartham. That is your nindarthakam tatra, in a sense of criticizing the way they are. But panditaha cha sahridayaha cha is actually, I would consider it as a honor that a pandita can be a sahridaya also. The same way, a vidyarthi cha aso sodaraha cha vidyarthi sodaraha, a person who is a student and a sibling, or this is more like a vidya bhrata iti, one who is a colleague and who is also as close like a brother. So sometimes colleagues have grown up in Gurukulam and they treat each other like brothers, right? So tatha asti. Balaha cha asau sannyasi cha. One who is a boy and who has also taken up sannyasa. So balaha cha asau sannyasi cha. It's a great, this thing, no? Sannyasi rendana varno. Or there should be a so balascha so sannyasi, one who is a sannyasi, one who has given up his given up this world, who has renounced this world even at a very young age, is someone who has to be praised. It can't come under kutsita vachanam. There is another sutra which is prashasta vachanaihi, prashamsa vachanaihi jatihi samasyate. So that may be more more appropriate to Visheshana Uttarapadam. Anna, he has not given any examples for that. So for now, I have just marked this in red. For your exam, if they ask, according to Saralavyakaranam, you can put this as Visheshya Purvapada Karmadharaya. This is also known as Visheshana Uttarapada Karmadharaya. Okay. But that name is not there in our Saralavyakaranam. But just for you to note, you can just put it in brackets. Okay. Actually, that's where a color red, it is like a danger thing for me. So I don't want to put it in red. Visheshana Ubhaya Pada Karmadharaya. These are easier ones. So Snataha cha Anuliptaha cha. Both, this is very similar to our Neelaschasa Ghataha cha. But ghata is an object that is very clearly, it indicates an object. Whereas here, both snataha, anuliptaha indicates a person who has taken a bath and who has put on perfume or chandanam. Anuliptaha is more like chandanam in those days. For now, it's like he has put on, sprayed all deodorant and perfume and everything. He has taken a bath and done that. Okay. So this is snataha cha asau anuliptaha cha. One who has taken a bath and one who has anointed himself. This indicates a person who is like this. So again, both are Visheshanas here to a particular person. So snataha kaschana purushaha vartate. Sayeva anuliptaha api. Tasmad atra samanadhikaranyam api vartate. Samanadhikaranyam asti. Yataha snatatvam yaha snanam akarot saha ekaha purushaha sayeva purushaha anulepanamapi akarot. So that is the samanadhikaranyam here that is indicated. So both these snatatvam and anuliptatvam are visheshanas. They are adjectival features for the same one particular person. Okay. The next one is shvetam cha tat neelam cha. That which is white is the same object which is also blue. So probably it is a blue lotus which has some streaks of white also in it. So it is a that way shvetam cha neelam cha, it is both white and blue. Shweta neelam. In the text of Saralavyakaranam, let me just share that text for a moment. The original book that is there. You find Visheshana Ubhaya Pada Karmadharaya has only 2 examples. Snatascha, Asau, Anuliptascha. And it also has only Shvetamcha, Tat, Neelamcha. If you look at Kritam See this? Kritam cha, akritam cha, gatam cha, tat agatam cha. He brings it under bhinna purva padaha. But it has to actually be in this section. It has to come to this section. So I have moved it in the text that I have prepared. That's why these two are actually found in under the Bhinna Purva Padaha. If you look at
the other two other examples in the Bhinna Purva Pada, I thought the one same word is used by adding the like that. So like that I thought, like Akrishnaha Krishnaha, Ashuklaha Shuklaha, like that. So that's why I thought Akrita Akritaha, like that. It's kind of, it can fit in both places, it looks like.
It looks like that, but that's not the case. Ivar vandu, adavadhu, if you look at Mahabaleshwar Bhatt's book, Mahodaya has given it in a different manner. He doesn't. He actually puts this in Visheshana Ubhaya Padasama thing. Okay, adnalda na adu idla potutten. That which is kritam and that which is akritam cha. Think of it as kritam cha akritam cha. And edathula yatu kritam yatu akritam tadeva kritam bhavati anantaram. So then that is different. Whereas inge vandu the same object is kritam and the same object is akritam. Kritam cha akritam cha. செஞ்சதும் செய்யாததும் அதுவே அவனே. So it is half done ன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு you can use this kind of an expression. Gatam cha agatam cha. Janma, a person's life, jeevitam. How is this jeevitam for a person? It can be something that is gone and again agatam. It is something that is prosperous also. Gata agatam. போக்குவரவுங்கிறோம் இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி. This is a ஜீவிதம் can be both ups and downs, something that is gone and not gone, also something that is done, not done. There are times when things feel very accomplished. There are times when you feel that things are not accomplished. Both are in the same adhikarana here, and both can exist at a given time period. Yeah. So kritam cha akritam cha. If you take maya, for example, that which is seen and not seen, that which is, you can also take it as something which is drishtam cha adrishtam cha, in the same drishta adrishtam sadasad bhavaha and madri. It's a visheshanam for both. Both are visheshanas. Prathamam purvam padam api visheshanam, uttara padam api visheshanam. Both indicate a particular thing here. Okay. Gatam cha tat agatam cha. Upamana purva padaha. Here the upamana comes in the beginning, whereas the upameya is the second one. Upamana purva padaha. So chandra iva mukham. Idu vandu actually it should only come with samanya vachanaihi. You cannot have chandra iva mukham. This again is not a very correct example. So either I need to mark this as red.
We just need the screen again.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, it is, right? I have shared the screen. You're not able to see it?
You can see it.
Okay, I think you need to go to... you don't need to share, but I think you need to go to Zoom. So upamana purva pada usually comes in the sense of the first padam to atra purva padam upamanam bhavati, that which is the standard of comparison. Dvitiyam padam cannot be the upameya. It has to be the samanya vachana or the sadharana dharma that is common between the upamanam and the upameya. Let's take, you are comparing the face to the face to the moon. But Chandra eva mukham cannot happen. So Chandraha eva mukham, Chandramukhi, or Chandrasya mukham eva mukham yasyaha sa Chandramukhi. Appadinu varalam. Anna, this is a common error that a lot of people use, but it's found in certain places where the Prathamam Purvam Padam to Upamanam Bhavati. That which you want to describe is the Mukham. So Chandraiva Mukham is a thing that you find commonly. That's why he has given this example, but this cannot occur according to Panini. Panini's Sutram says Upamanani Samanya Vachanaihi, which means Ghana Eva Shyamaha is a correct example. Ghanaha is cloud. Krishna is the Upameya. Upamanam is Ghanam, the cloud, and he is Shyama, dark, like the cloud. So darkness becomes your Sadharana Dharma between the cloud and Krishna. So the cloud becomes the Purva Padam, the Samanya Vachanam or the Sadharana Dharma, the quality that connects between the two becomes your Uttara Padam. So Ghanaiva Shyamaha is a better example. Ratiriva Sundari, a lady who is beautiful, Sundari, like Rati. Then this is possible. So Sundaratvam becomes your Samanya Dharma, which is common between Rati, the consort of Manmatha, and a lady, Naika, whom we are describing. Yeah. Ratiriva Sundari.
Mukhachandra, can you say Mukhachandra?
ஆமா அது வந்து முகச்சந்திரம்ங்கிறச்சே முகமேவ சந்திரஹா முகச்சந்திரஹா that is possible. So that becomes a ரூபகம். அது வந்து that comes in the next in the அவதாரணா பூர்வ பதத்துல வரும். முகமேவ பத்மம் வித்யா ஏவ தனம் vidyadhanam suktayaha eva ratnani. So mukham becomes your visheshya, sorry, upameya. Upamanam is the padmam. What you want to describe is the face. You are comparing it to an object, and that object is the upamanam, which is padmam. You are saying avadharana. Avadharana is evam. You are stressing that the face is the lotus. There is no other lotus. Or the popular lotus is not lotus. It is the face only that is lotus. You can insist on that and say mukhameva padmam vidya eva dhanam. Here because it indicates upamanam and upameya, you don't need to have samana vibhakti samana gender. Vidya eva dhanam. Vidya is in Strilinga Padam. Dhanam is an Apunsakalinga Padam. They both can join together. You don't need, but it indicates the same object. Dhanatvam. When I say wealth, it is. I only consider learning as wealth. So both exist in the same adhikarana. So there is samana adhikaranam also between the two. So adu vande it becomes avadharana purvakam. Here upamana purva pada vande konja. This is a dicey example. Adavida these two examples are better. There are other examples also, like shailonnataha, shailaha iva unnataha, shailonnataha, kusumam iva komalam, kusuma komalam, pushpa komalam. You can use the second word can indicate a quality that is there, which is common.
Maudya, in this Chandra Mukham, there is no, I know it doesn't say the second word, Uttarapadam does not say the Samana Dharma, so it is a dicey example. But there is no other fitting place where we can put it, right? Where else can we put it?
Put where? What?
Instead of Upamana Purva Pada, where else can we categorize that, even
Chandra
though it's a
Mukhama.
problematic?
So அது எப்படின்னா சந்திரஸ்ய முகமிவ முகம் சந்திர முகம்.
Dvandva samasava?
இல்ல துவந்தம்லாம் இல்ல, இந்த இடத்துல போடலாம். யூ கேன் ஹேவ் இட் as an உபமான பதமா இல்லாத அத வந்து தூக்கி இந்த
விக்கிரக வாக்கியம் alone we have to change then.
இல்லமா இந்த மயூர வியம்சகாதின்னு ஒண்ணு இருந்ததா, அதுலயா இருந்தது மிருகநயனம்லாம்.
ஆமா. எஸ்.
பட் இதுல வந்து மிருகநயனம் இல்ல பாருங்க, அது இல்ல. So wherever that மிருகஸ்ய நயனே இவ நயனே யஸ்யாஹ சா போட்டு ஒரு பகுவ்ரீஹில வரும். ஆனா பிஃபோர் இன்ஸ்டெட் ஆஃப் தட் பகுவ்ரீஹி இது இருக்கா, இதுல வந்து बहुपद बहुब्रीहि. See, this one. Shashti Purvapada பூர்வ பதக உபமான வியதிகரண பகுபிரீஹின்னு இருக்கு. மிருகஸ்ய அக்ஷிணி இவ அக்ஷிணி யஸ்யாஹ சா. So Chandramukhi can come. Chandrasya mukhamiva mukham yasyaha sa Chandramukhi. இது போல போடலாம். But when you want to just describe a mukham which is like the mukham of Chandram, அதுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சமஸ்த பதம், I don't know if you can make it. Otherwise you can just put it as supsupa. Wherever there is samarthyam dane. If there is a samartha padavidihi, if there is a samarthyam for two words to come and people have used it, you will have to give it in some way or the other. You can probably say Chandrasya mukhamiva mukham. That's the closest that you can go to.
Okay.
Yeah. Upamana Uttarapadaha. Upamana Uttarapada is more common. So the Upamanam becomes the Uttarapadam and the Upameya is that which we want to describe is the first padam. Purushaha Vyagraha Iva. Purushaha is the Ubisheshya. I want to describe, or Upameya. I want Varnyam. I want to describe a man here. And I want to say he has the qualities that are there in a tiger. He is like a tiger. So Purushaha Vyagraiva, he is like a tiger. So he is a Sreshtha. He is a very Veera Purushaha. Saha iti vaktum atra Purusha Vyagraha iti uchyate. Na Simhaha iva Nrisimhaha. Na narau naraha. Nr is the shabda. It is a rikaranta shabda. So nrisimhaha. That is why the padam here is nr is the pradipadikam that joins here. So na narau naraha pita pitarau pitaraha. In the manner you can say na narau naraha. So na simhaha iva. A man is like a lion. So nrisimhaha. If we want to indicate the god, then we can say nacha aso simhaha cha nrisimhaha iti. Apo it becomes a karmadharaya where he is that person. It is a visheshana ubhaya padamunu solrada. Ama yat yaha purushaha paramapurushaha nacha asti simhaha cha asti. So he is nrisimhaha in the sense of visheshana purvapada samasa, ubhaya pada samasa. Inge kavi kunjaraha. Kunjara is an elephant. Kavihi is a poet. A poet who is an elephant. It is not, you're only comparing the qualities that are there. He is as majestic as an elephant. Now, how an elephant rules the place. If an elephant is there, immediately all eyes are turned towards the elephant. In the same way, when a kavi is there in an assembly, everybody looks at the kavi. Naraha Shardula iva, a man who is like a Shardula, a lion. Sometimes a lion is also called a Shardula. Sometimes Shardula means a tiger also. So Nara Shardulaha, a man who is like a lion.
Instead of Kavi Kunjaraha, there the Akriti Vishesham and all will not come into play. It's just that he's a Uttama Kavi, like that kind of meaning, right? So if it is Kapi Kunjaraha, does it mean that big that monkey is very big and all?
Ama, இந்த மந்திங்கிறோம் இல்லையா, அதுக்கு வந்து கபி குஞ்சரஹா. So கபி குஞ்சரஹா is like Hanuman or someone who is as huge like an elephant. So there also akriti visheshena tatra kunjaraiva vartate. Again, there is a samana dharma which is apart from what is there. Yeah. இங்க வந்து வெறும் மெஜஸ்டிக், charisma, personality அதை எடுத்துக்கணும். If you look at கபி குஞ்சரஹா, then you take with the size. பரிமாணே குஞ்சரைவ இது கஜைவ. அது வேற, அது வந்து மீட்டர்ல சொல்றது. அதனால ஷார்தூலஸ்ய விக்ரீடிதம் இவ விக்ரீடிதம் யஸ்ய விருத்தம் யஸ்ய தத் அப்படின்னு அது வந்து இட் கோஸ் இன் த செக்ஷன் ஆஃப் மிருகநயனி பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, அதே மாதிரி வரும். பகுவிரீஹி. சம்பாவனா பூர்வபத சமாசம். இது வந்து the first word would be a samjna. It is the name. Sambhavana is a name here. So the second portion is your visheshya. The first portion is visheshanam, but the visheshanam is actually a samjna padam. That is, it is a name. So Vindhyaha iti parvataha. The name tatra parvataha kaschana vartate yasya nama Vindhyaha akhya. So Sambhavana also means akhya or the name. So Vindhya parvataha, Ganga nadi, Vata vrikshaha, Ayodhya nagaram, Kashi puri, Avanti puri, idella irukku. So all of these come under this category. Kashi iti puri, Avanti iti puri, Mathura puri, Mathura iti puri, puri iti nagaram. That is the Visheshyam. And the word preceding is the name. Avadharana Purvapadam, that's what I said now. It is the base for Rupaka Alankara. So Mukhameva Padmam. The face is lotus. Vidya eva dhanam. Vidya is wealth. Learning is wealth. Suktayaha eva ratnani. Sayings, good sayings are gems. Samsara eva sagaraha. The world is an ocean. So, it is a comparison in the background, but at the same time you are saying it is so vast. It's in sarupyena. In comparison, it is like that. Bhinna purva padaha. I don't find this in other texts. He uses this only here. In fact, Mayura Vyamsakadi comes under Karmadharaya in other texts.
Gati samasa or something?
Huh?
Gati
samasama irukkum idu. Ana idu he takes it as Bhinna Purvapada Karmadharaya because both happen in the same adhikaranam. Because Samana adhikaranyam vartate, he classifies it under this. Chvi is a pratyaya and krita is a kridanta here. So he adds chvi to the purva padam and adds the kridanta here. So it's a mixture. Idella you can't classify. It depends on the person who has written the work and his own classification. So this is a chvi pratyaya is involved here. So I will just make a note of that. This is the only thing he gives as an example in this. Chariya. Ashrenayaha, Shrenayaha, Sampadyamanaha, Kritaha. So those which are not in a row have been created into a row. Ashrenayaha. Those which are not in a sequence. Shrenayaha Sampadyamanaha Kritaha. They have been ensured that they have been created or they have been made into a sequence. Those which are random have been put into a sequence. So Shreni Kritaha. Shreni plus Chvi comes in there and then it becomes a Dirgha Ikara. So Shreni Kritaha. The same for the next one. Avargaha Vargaha Sampadyamanaha Kritaha. That which is not in a classified version, it has been classified now. Classified na secret andamarilla. Categorized. That which is never in a category has been put into a category. So Vargi Kritaha. Akrishnaha Krishnaha Sampadyamanaha. That which is not Krishna, that which is not dark has been created, become dark. You go to a tanning booth or you go to the Mediterranean islands and do some sunbathing, then you will become, you don't need to do all that. You go stay in Madras for 10 days, you will become tan. That's it. So, Akrishnaha, Krishnaha, Sampadyamanaha. Ashuklaha, Shuklaha, Sambhutaha. Stay inside the house for 10 days, you will automatically, that tan will fall off and you will become white. So, Ashuklaha, that which was not fair or that which is not white has been made into white. You can take it as a pot also. That's the example that a lot of people give in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. A pot which is just baked and come out, it is brown in color and then you paint it white. So yaha ghataha purvam ashuklaha asit tattu adhuna saha ghataha tu adhuna shuklaha sampadhyate sambhutaha. So it has been made into that. You can have kr, bhu and as in this case. Ama. Shukli Kritah, Shukli Babhuva, Shukli Chakara. You Kri, Bhu and As dhatus can join with this. Adadanga, the speciality. So you can't have any dhatu here joining with the Kta pratyaya or Lakara. So you have to have only the either of these three dhatus are possible. Lupta Madhyama Padaha. This is popularly also known as Madhyamapada Lopi Samasaha. So this is a Karmadharaya. Shaka Parthivaha. This comes under a section of Shaka Parthivadinam iti Gana Sutre Vartate. So there is a list of words that Panini has listed, and those words which come under that Ganam, Shaka Parthivaha, Deva Pujakaha, all of these are treated as Madhyamapada Lopi Samasaha. Okay. Shaka Parthivaha, Shaka Priyaha Parthivaha. Parthivaha is a king who likes vegetables. Shaka Priyaha. So, because being a Kshatriya, they hunt and they also eat meat a lot. If it is a king who likes vegetables, he is a vegetarian or he likes more of vegetables, then he becomes a Shaka Priyaha Parthivaha. Why do you make the pot white? It has some special. The painting always covers all the pores. So it's a ceramic also, you glaze it, you paint it. You have to go to a pottery class to understand why they do the paint. It covers the pores and less oozing out occurs. Anna, in villages or even in cities, I remember when we were growing up, fridge was a luxury for us at that point of time. So we bought a fridge only in the 83 or so, So we bought mud pots which is not painted at all, which is not colored, and then filled sand underneath and kept the pot on top and filled it with water. The sand and the pot would keep the water quite chilled, and the taste would also be very nice. If you used color, you use the color only outside, still then idu seriya varadu. They use any color for painting it, so it doesn't matter.
Shaka Parthivaha absorbs more sunlight.
White will reflect the sunlight. So it will retain the inside temperature more. Deva Pujakaha Brahmanaha. Brahmanaha who worships gods. So Deva Pujakaha Brahmanaha. This could also refer to a person who is like a Shivacharya, who is allowed to go into the temple and perform the pujas for the Deva in a temple, for the gods in a temple. So Deva Pujakaha Brahmanaha. Pujartham Griham. A house which is dedicated for puja, which is puja griham. It can also be just a room which has been dedicated to puja. So puja griham iti. Evam karmadharayaha visheshana visheshya bhavena samanya vishesha bhavena upamana upameya bhavena sadrishya mulakane rupanena abhuta tadbhavena madhyama padalopena cha siddha nirupitaha. Now this classification we have to apply to the earlier one. Visheshana visheshya bhavena. Now this when you make karmadharaya samasa using visheshana visheshya bhava, you have three types. Go back here. The first three, visheshana purva padaha, visheshya purva padaha, and visheshana ubhaya padaha. These three depend on on naming things as visheshanam or visheshya. So this exists with the relationship of visheshana visheshya bhava. The next two, upamana purva pada and upamana uttara pada. These two rely on upamana upameya bhavaha. You need to know the relationship of two objects as in upamana and upameya. The next two are sambhavana and avadharana purva padam. Inge potrukar parango. It says sadrishya mulakena rupanena. Rupanam is superimposition. So it is a metaphorical expression. So there is a superimposition that happens which is based on similarity. So when you say Vindhyaha eva parvataha or Vindhyaha iti parvataha, Ganga iti nadi, you are actually superimposing the Gangatvam onto the Naditvam. So these two are being superimposed on one particular thing. So there is a rupanam there. You go to mukhameva padmam, there mukham, there is a sadrishyam between mukham and padmam. Just as how the lotus blooms, the same way the face also blooms. It is bright, it is beautiful. Tatha. So there is a rupanam or a superimposition based on sadrishyam. Abhuta tadbhava, idukku vande it is called abhuta tadbhava. The chui pratyaya is called abhuta tadbhava. Actually, I should have put that in. Madhyama pada lopena. So madhyama pada lopa puriyardu. Inge vande we can also call it as abhuta tadbhava. The rest andanda idu na potudren apram. So this is the bhavam with which we come up with these kinds of samasas. The next one is dvigu. Dvigu is quickly we can go over and finish it off because it is sankhya purvaha dviguhu. The first padam is sankhya. Tatpurushaha eva. Dviguhu ityuchyate. Ayam trividaha. There are three types of dvigu. One is ekavad bhavi dviguhu, where the resultant samasta padam, even though there are 3, 4, 5, 6, how many ever objects there are together, but the resultant is taken as one set. So ekavat bhavi, it only looks as one. You make it into an aggregate. Anekavad bhavi dviguhu, there are many, but it has sankhya in the beginning. It is very similar to karmadharaya. It is the same as karmadharaya. But when the karmadharaya has a sankhya as the purva padam, it is termed as dvigu. And the resultant also is in bahuvachanam, or depending on what it is in. Uttara pada dviguhu cha iti. Anganga, we will read the definition of that also. Ekavad bhavi dviguhu ayameva samahara dviguhu ityuchyate ityapi uchyate. So this ekavad bhavi, eka iva bhavyate, that which is understood as one unit, is called ekavad bhavi dviguhu. It is also called samahara dviguhu, aggregate. Trayanam lokanam samaharaha. There are three lokas, three worlds involved. When you combine all three worlds, it is called Triloki. Trilokyaha ishaha, Trilokishaha. Trayanam lokanam samaharaha, Triloki. Upon the unit of three worlds is called one Triloki. How do you say this? Triloki, tat tribhuvanam, tat chatur yugam. Even though there are 4 yugas involved, you still call the aggregate as one. It can either be in Napunsakam or it can be in Strilinga. So Triloki is a Strilinga padam. Sa Triloki, tat tribhuvanam, tat chaturyugam. So what are the three worlds? Trayanam lokanam samaharaha bhur bhuva swaha, or Swarga, Bhumi, Patala. The same goes for Trayanam Bhuvananam. Loka and Bhuvanam are the same. So Trayanam Bhuvananam samaharaha. Chaturnam Yuganam samaharaha. The 4 yugas. Now see, whether this word is in Pullingam or Strilingam, it doesn't matter. Our resultant Samasta Padam can be only in Strilinga or in Napunsakalingam. It cannot be in Pullinga. That's a rule here. So Chaturnam Yuganam, 4 yugas are Krita Yugam or Satya Yugam, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. The 4 together is one set aggregate. So it is a single unit. When I say Chatur Yugam, it is just one, singular. You can have Chatur Yugani, possible. There are many, there are totally 71 Chatur Yugas in one Manvantara. When you take a Manvantara, Vaivaswata Manvantara, there are 71 Chatur Yugas. So 71 units of 4 yugas. So I can have a plural Chatur Yugani also possible. Yes, Chulungo.
Dushta Chatushtayam adu enga varum?
That is also inge da namakku.
Oh, inge da varum.
Anna illa anga vande it's sorry. It is not that. So Chatushtayam is a word that is formed with the Taya Pratyaya. Okay. So Tayappangara Pratyaya you put in and you form it as Chaturnam Samaharaha in a way where it is a Pratyayam that makes that word Chatushtaya. Okay. First you have to form that word. Adikapranda you go to, so Chatvaraha Avayavaha Asya Santi iti, it is a Vyutpatti for that particular word Chatushtaya where Tayap Pratyaya is put in. No, you have formed that word. அதுக்கு வந்து etymological derivation. It doesn't come under இந்த மாதிரி சமஸ்த பதமா வராது. அது வந்து சமஸ்த பதமா சொல்றதா இல்ல தத்திதமா சொல்றதோ என்னமோன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். I think it's a taddita pratyaya. I'm not clearly, yama tadditama தான் இருக்கணும். Correct. After that, you make it into a shashti tatpurusha, saying dushtanam chatushtayam, a unit of 4 of the so many wicked people that are there in Mahabharata. Dushta chatushtayam is a word that indicates Duryodhana, Dushasana, Shakuni, Karna. That 4 unit of wicked people is called Dushta chatushtayam. Dushtanam, even though there are many bad people, wicked people in the world, Dushtanam madhye chatvaraha udhritya tatra we are forming one samahara with them. So that and step by step pakarche, one is a taddita, then you go to a shashti tatpurusha. Okay. Panchanam gavyanam samaharaha panchagavyam. Gavyam is that which has come out of a cow. So you have 5 things like milk, dadhi, etc., etc., ghee. All of these form together as panchagavyam. So panchanam gavyanam samaharaha. When you talk about panchagavyam, you always talk about it as a unit. Okay. Dugdham, dadhi, ghritam. இன்னும் 2 you have சாணம் மூத்திரம் ரெண்டுமே உண்டுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் அதுல. So சதுர்ணாம் பதாம் சமாஹாரஹ சதுஷ்பதம், a place where 4 roads come and join. இந்த நான்மாடக்கூடலுங்கிறோம்ல மதுரைக்கு, அது வந்து சதுஷ்பதம்ங்கிறச்சு where 4 roads come and meet in that square. It's called a square in nowadays. So that square is called chatushpatham. Just a connection of 4 paths. All of these are in singular here. So ekavad bhavi. The next one is anekavad bhavi. I am uttara padartha pradhanyena anya padartha pradhanyena cha dvedha bhavati. It can be either uttara pada pradhanyam or it can be anya pada pradhanyam. We have seen what is uttara pada pradhanyam, where the second padam connects with the kriya. If it is anya pada padartha pradhanyam, the doer of the kriya would be some other person. The anvaya happens with some other person. It doesn't happen with the padas that are there in the samasta padam. Adyaha तरी अत्र उत्तरपदार्थ प्राधान्येन वर्तते सप्तचते ऋषयः. This is what I said, I meant by karmadharaya, where both are indicative of the same objects. There are 7 people who are the saptarishis, who are called saptarishis, 7 in number, and they also have rishitvam in them. It is like a karmadharya. The only difference is you have a sankhya before and there are 7 different people who are involved in that set. It is complicated. If you have to say saptatvam is present in each and every one, even though there is only one person there, but we are saying he has adnalda rishitvam eva tatra anveti. So you only have the uttara padartha as the pradhana, because sapta rishayaha vartante garche rishayaha vartante. 7 is not there. It is only the rishis who are there. The number 7 is an abstract number which is present in that group of people who are 7 in number. So it's இதெல்லாம் வந்து கொடைவா. இந்த நியாயத்துக்கு போனா, when you go to logic, they will say, where is this saptatvam present? Is it present in each and every rishi, or is it present in the entire group or not, or is it something abstract? அதெல்லாம் அங்க விசாரிச்சுக்கலாம், நமக்கு இப்ப வேண்டாம். Here it is just very clearly saptarshayaha is a group. Shat chate ritavaha, shad ritavaha, again 6 seasons. The second type is anya padartha pradhanyam. Anya padartha pradhanya is ayameva tadditartha dviguhu ityuchate. So there is a taddita pratyaya that comes in and it is a dvigu samasa. So shannam matrunam apatyam puman shanmaturaha. A child who is the son of 6 mothers. So the 6 people are the kritika female kritika deities who are the mother of Shanmukha. So Shanmukha was nurtured by the 6 kritika devis. So he is called a Shanmaturaha. Dvayoho matroho apatyam puman dvai maturaha, one who has two mothers. So both Shanmukha and Ganapati, they both have Parvati as a mother, and they also have Ganga as a mother, or you can take it as Sati was their mother. However, or Dvayoho Matroho Apatyam, one who was the child of two mothers. So you can have one who gave birth biological, one who also brought up. That is also there. Ashta Kapalaha, Ashtasu Kapaleshu Samskritaha Purodashaha. This Purodasha is a type of cake that is made at the end of a yagam. As you end the yagam, you make this cake by cooking in 8 different kapalas, 8 different pots, small pots. And that cake which is done is offered as an ahuti. This is the final ahuti that is offered in a yagam. So, Ashtasu Kapaleshu Samskritaha Purodashaha Ashtakapalaha. Ashtakapalaha, the words involved are Ashta, 8. Kapala is the vessel. But the word Ashtakapala indicates Purodasha, which is the cake. Right? This is actually not present in our Padam, in the Samasta Padam. Okay? So this is the word that it indicates. So it is an Anya Padartha Pradana. Purva Padamapi na Suchayati, Uttara Padamapi na Suchayati. It indicates a like Pitambara, like Bahubrihi. It becomes something like a Bahubrihi, but it is categorized under Dvigu, Anekavad Bhavi, Dviguhu. Next is Uttarapada Dviguhu. Uttarapada Dviguhu, Dve Ahani Jatasya. Idella specifica adukku potrukkaradu. So this is Pancha Gavaha Dhanam Yasya. Panchagava Dhanahan irukkanum. Dhanaha irukkakoodadu. Panchagava Dhanaha. One who has 5 cows as his wealth. So Panchagava Dhanaha. One who was born just 2 days before. Dve Ahani Jatasya. For a person who has been born, there have passed only 2 days. பிறந்தவனுக்கு 2 நாள் அப்படின்னா 2 நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி பிறந்தவனுக்கு த்வியஹ ஜாதஹ. 5 மாடுகள் அவனுக்கு செல்வம், எவனுக்கு செல்வமாக இருக்கின்றனவோ. So one who has 5 cows as wealth. It's more like a bahuvrihi, but then pancha, gava, dhanaha, so many words can also come in, and it is termed as uttarapada dviguhu. சரியா? Okay, I think we'll with this karmadharya and dvigu, our idu is over. Oh, sorry. Why am I doing this? How do I close this? I don't know. Close window. Okay. With this, our Tatpurusha is over. We have to go to Dvandva Samasa next. Okay, we finished with Abhyayi Bhava and Tatpurusha. The next one is Dvandva Samasa. We'll do that next class.